Oh, Canelo, you puta.
And this fucking YouTuber. I just fight real fighters.
Time to expose them. So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right. Claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th. Claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch. The truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is these sports-washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check. Disloyal. And you were begging to do this fight on pay-per-view. But I have loyalty. Loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Remember you told my team that your daughter came home and asked if you were fighting Jake Paul? She was all excited. You said that was the first time your daughter's ever asked you about a fight. And you're screwing over all your Mexican fans by doing your fights in Saudi. It just shows what type of person you are. And I promise you one thing, Canelo. Any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. So go fuck off to your boss, you Ring Magazine employee, you pink and orange bitch. And oh, fix that herpy on your lip, you dirty puta.
Jake Paul reacts to Canelo leaving him high and dry and choosing a four-fight deal, a reported four-fight deal with Riyadh Season. A press release was issued by Most Valuable Promotions, which is Jake Paul's ish. Statement from Most Valuable Promotions regarding Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez. MVP was deep in negotiations for a blockbuster fight between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez on Cinco de Mayo weekend in Las Vegas. A massive event for the Mexican, Puerto Rican, and American fans. It is disappointing to see how the situation unfolded. MVP operates with integrity, transparency, and respect for the sport, its athletes, and the fans. Unfortunately, not everyone in the boxing world shares those values. The situation is a reminder not to believe everything you read, especially when the current media environment is often controlled by those with the hidden agendas, including promoters who have reporters on their payroll. We remain in active discussions with multiple high-profile opponents and are committed to delivering the biggest fights, the most exciting events, and to working with partners who share our values and our commitment to boxing and its fighters. Jake Paul isn't going anywhere, and neither is MVP. We'll continue to disrupt boxing on our terms. End quote. Now, Jake Paul, he does have a caption that goes along with this, and he posted some AI photos, if you will. Breaking news, Canelo Alvarez ducked me. Jake Paul and is now an owned slave with no regard for the pride of the Mexican people who support him on U.S. soil. It's not surprising when his whole career he has done nothing for the sport of boxing outside of the ring. I'm the new face of boxing. You cannot have the biggest fight of 2025 without my name involved. When all of your events tank and lose money, you will all realize who the king of the sport is. 28 years old, biggest fight in boxing history, my own boss, not owned, 5 years in. All you felines want to see me fail, but God has other plans. It's the era of good, the era of the elephant. It's the era of MVP, and he tagged his promotional company. Now, my thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. I told you they were looking at trying to make the fight. That's what I was hearing, and that was Canelo Jake Paul. All of this stuff indicates that was a discussion. However, at the 11th hour, Turkey seemingly receiving backlash for saying the Crawford fight was on, off, on, decided to pull out the pocketbook and apparently, Godfather style, made Canelo an offer. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. And he made Canelo some kind of offer where Canelo is likely to be overpaid for 4 fights. And he lured Canelo out of this deal with Jake Paul, and the rest is history. Now, it's understandable why Jake Paul will feel a type of way if he thought he was going to get this opportunity to fight Canelo. One, a legend in the sport. Two, it was going to be on Netflix, and he had a great follow-up to the Mike Tyson fight, right? And now Canelo, being, a businessman or whatnot, he did what he felt was in the best interest of him. Makes sense to me. My thoughts haven't changed one bit, one iota. They're talking about Canelo doing a tune-up fight, but the way it's being reported, it looks like Bud is going to sit on the sidelines and bulk up and wait till September. That's kind of weird if you're moving up 2-3 weight classes and you're going to have a 13-month layoff. But hey, this is Riyadh season's money, Turkey's money, the kingdom's money. This is what they want to invest in. The second Canelo fight being a Crawford fight. I've already explained my thoughts on this. Crawford's a talented fighter, skilled fighter. I don't really like the weight class jumping when you're 37, 38, and Canelo is a guy with the beard and the chin. You haven't cleaned out 154, and you haven't went higher than that, period. I said the same thing. It's funny because I think people were waiting for some big, huge reveal from me. My opinion hasn't changed. If you guys love Crawford and Canelo fight, great. That is you. But my opinion remains the same. Canelo, he made out like a bandit. It looks like he used the Netflix deal with Jake Paul as maybe a leverage and dangled the carrot and made the kingdom step to the plate and offer probably more money than this will probably be worth. That's my honest opinion. But fair play to Canelo. He used the leverage he had. He had another big deal. And if the Saudis wanted to play, you got to pay. And that's where we're at with it. But the names being mentioned, I think some people are so worried with like ego and what ego's talking about and stuff like that. They don't even care about what the actual implications for this. And I cannot wait. This is going to be funny. You took Canelo out of America where he was going to fight on Netflix, right? And likely do a pay-per-view with Jake Paul. So there's no real ceiling to how much he would make for a fight that big, right? The Netflix fight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson was free. However, it did crazy amounts of views. So Canelo decided, I'll take this 4-fight guaranteed money from the Saudis instead of doing that, because he would have to move up in weight as well to fight Jake Paul. So maybe he didn't like the fact that it's out of his weight class and that he would have to move up, and, the premise of potentially losing to a YouTuber. And I'm not saying that Jake Paul absolutely would beat Canelo, but you have to assess the risk, Like what happens if Jake Paul did better than people thought even? That would look bad for Canelo Alvarez. So maybe he just likes this plan of fighting boxers and getting overpaid for a lot of the fights, even though 3 of the 4 are reported to be in Saudi Arabia. So, for the people who wanted the Crawford fight, I guess you got what you wanted. Good luck with that. But it's funny to see the people are celebrating it. You took Canelo out of America, where he's been fighting since age 19, and 3 of his next 4 fights will be in Saudi Arabia. So enjoy. And then the other fight will be Canelo against another smaller person. And it's funny to see content creators. There's a lot of low quality content, bad audio, cheap thumbnails, cheap visuals in the sport of boxing. People just the other day, when the report said that the Canelo fight was off, they just said Canelo was ducking Crawford, and now it's back on track. And we're just supposed to forget that you said that Canelo was afraid of Terrence Crawford. Nobody's issuing an apology to Canelo Alvarez in that regard. See, I never said that Canelo was afraid of Terrence Crawford, because I didn't believe that. But the Bud Buddies did. And now that the fight looks like it's back on track for September, assuming Canelo wins in his next fight, now we're supposed to just forget that was said. So again, for me, nothing has changed. Absolutely. The only thing that's changed is Canelo didn't follow through with the deal he had on the table. to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul says it's a duck. Let me know if you guys agree with that or whatnot. And now they're talking about Canelo fighting his next fight, Cinco de Mayo, in Saudi Arabia, where they don't even celebrate Cinco de Mayo. And who knows what time it'll come on. And, you know, they have to give you those kind of logistics. But they're talking about against maybe Jermall Charlo or the guy that beat Jaime Munguia. Enjoy. So Jake Paul said in his tweet that Canelo's fights will tank and he's a slave, and he basically he had to sell his soul. I'm my own boss. Canelo had to do all this other stuff just to, your fights are going to lose money for the people involved. And I firmly agree with that, because you likely had to overpay Canelo an exorbitant amount of money to make this happen and lure him away from the deal. He played the two sides against each other for leverage. And now it works for Canelo, works for his family, works for his pocketbook, but does it work for boxing? You know, I guess if you were looking for the Crawford fight, him fighting a guy 2-3 divisions under him, then you got your wish. But what's up with the other 3 fights? You know, and here's the thing is, a lot of the Bud buddies are saying that Bud will stop Canelo. If that happens, Canelo's going to be an afterthought. If Canelo lets a man come up 2-3 weight classes and knock him out when he hasn't been knocked out by Golovkin in 3 fights, then that's going to be pretty damaging to his career. So I think some people expected me to be mad. I actually like this because I like things that are organic. Canelo made his decision. Like I said, enjoy. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that.